I don't know if it's better with or without my glasses. I just got done running 10 miles today. First 10 miles I've ever run. It was really fun. I feel pretty good. I'm not really tired. I could have gone longer, but I was running short on time. I wanted to get a couple videos recorded today, and I did that. And now I'm doing this. It's a bit of an update and a different format once again. I'm always changing up my format. Y'all know all about that. If you watch my previous videos, I was just in Colorado doing some hikes. We were tearing it up over there. And now I am currently in Kansas. My goal is to be here until spring is over, or leave sometime in the later spring. But I'm here for a little while. I'm just checking up on family, taking care of some business things, and I'm going to constantly be back here. I realized that recently, that I'm going to be here a lot more frequently than I thought previously, just because my family's here until I can move them out, basically. So no clue how long that's going to take me. I'm still on my journey. I'm still on that quest. If this was like a sort of adventure type thing, I would be in the Straits right now on a ship, like going on my way to conquer some continent or whatever. I would be in the process of that. So it's a whole ordeal. I'm growing a lot, and one of the things I want to talk about today is sort of growing a garden. And there's two versions of this that I've found. There's a lot of versions, but the two that I want to talk about is individually, and the idea of building a garden environmentally, which is to say your surroundings. So building a garden within yourself, what does this mean? Building a garden, first of all, involves many things. It involves you picking a spot, with good soil or bad soil, and then going through the process of making the soil good enough for farming. And once you have your soil ready, you go ahead and pick out your seeds that you want for your field. And you also, you get your water, you get your sun, all the basic elements for farming, you get your tools. And the idea is that you plant your seeds, and throughout this process of cultivating these seeds into plants, at the end of it you have your harvest, and from that harvest you can essentially sustain yourself indefinitely. And that's the great thing about farming. I really don't know at what point in history we went from farming to consumerism, and buying everything instead of making it ourselves, probably during the Industrial Revolution. But anyways, we are in the state that we are right now, but farming still exists, and farming exists within us and outside of us. Now I'll go ahead and go with the obvious one, which is within us. You can farm XP, and you can look at seeds and your tools in many different sorts of ways, but one of the tools, I guess, for your farm is books. And I guess the process that it provides is nurture. You are nurturing your brain, so you're giving your brain knowledge and information on how to grow and what way to grow, and you're sort of molding your knowledge and experience into something that's actually usable. And in this way you can farm your XP of yourself. You can also go on experiences, so traveling, so you can read books and you kind of gain that book knowledge, but street knowledge is a whole different thing. Real life is way different to what you read in books, so you also will need this. That would be like your sunlight. You need to go outside and actually touch grass every once in a while, and experience what real life is, and experience the pain, experience this like brightness that will blind your eyes, but once you get used to it, you can see how beautiful the world is. And that's another way to cultivate yourself. And another thing that you can also do is something a little bit more physical, is your body. You can go out and go to the gym, exercise, or eat healthy, ideally both. And when you do this, you start gaining an understanding of your body, and you begin learning what your body needs. And if you keep harvesting your body, that's gaining a lot of XP. And so after you go on in life and you do all of these things, and you grow yourself like mentally and physically, you start elevating yourself to a point to where you can harvest the fruits of your labor, and you actually start seeing the world in different ways, and you're able to move differently. You're able to see things in a new way that you weren't able to before when you were low level. At a higher level, you're able to experience the world in a whole different way. You gain like a much deeper appreciation for the world and everything in it, and for yourself. You begin understanding yourself a whole lot better, and how you relate to everything, and your position within the universe. You begin understanding why you were put on this world, and you can start actively working towards your purpose in life. And that brings me to my second point. Once you cultivate yourself enough, you'll be able to cultivate your surroundings, and that is the second garden that you can farm XP in. It's not the only two, but it's the two main ones, honestly. So what are your surroundings? That's the people that you surround yourself with. That's your environment. And you basically have to position things around you. You position yourself first in the universe, and then once you recognize your position, you can start moving things around you. You get to a certain degree where you can start world building. You can start, actively choosing people that will invigorate your life instead of drain from it. You can start going to places that will actually help you grow as a human being, and that where your frequency is elevated, because you can be a high frequency individual. If you're in a low frequency environment, there's going to be a disruption to your psyche and your frequency. It's going to be disrupted in a negative way. So to continue being in a high energy or high frequency state of being, you need to be in a high frequency place that is conductive to that energy. And you do that by positioning other things around you. You're sort of a catalyst, and you can have other things around you harnessing energy for yourself. And that's the thing, is like, if you gain enough wisdom and experience and knowledge, you understand what you need around you. I can't tell you what you need around yourself, only you can do that. But for example, in regards to me, I know what is beneficial for me. I know what kind of people I like hanging out with. I know the kind of people that raise my energy and make me feel good about myself, but also that enrich my life, whether through experience or knowledge, whatever you want to call it. I know who these people are, and I know their characteristics. I know what kind of people they are. They're sort of like a template. So once you find this template, you can align yourself with it more, a lot better. I was gonna say more better, but I don't think grammatically that's right. So then you have this aspect of people, but then you have an aspect of location. Where are you at? Are you at a place where high level individuals will frequent, or are you at a place where low level individuals will frequent? And how often are you going there? How often are you subjecting yourself to these different sorts of energy, and how much does it affect you? You need to be able to balance everything together, and a high level individual will be able to take care of it, and be able to balance a whole lot more variables at the same time, whereas like the low level individual isn't really going to know what they're doing, basically. So they might accidentally be at the right place at the right time, but then they'll also find themselves at the wrong place at the wrong time quite often. And there's a very deep imbalance there, whereas a high level individual is able to position themselves constantly in a good place at a good time. And the higher level that you are, the more you're able to do this more frequently. And that's how you grow your garden. You're able to take these tools, which is people are tools, not in a negative way, but in a harvesting yourself sort of type of way. If you can go into an abstract thinking, think critically, and come on, I'm not trying to put out misinformation out there. You need to take these and understand what I'm trying to tell you. But people are a tool that you can use to harvest your surroundings, and your surroundings are a way that you can harvest your surroundings. I think the highest frequency environment that you can actually put yourself into is a place like nature. You can go to a library, you can go to school, you can do all of these things where you put yourself in a position to be learning and to be constantly cultivating yourself. And of course, we must all have a little bit of fun sometimes, you know. We're not God. God didn't take away our ability to sin. Instead, He gifted it to us so that we can indulge a little bit here and there. So those are just treats, you know. You can have a slice of cake, but if you have the whole cake, it's probably gonna end up bad for you. But a slice of cake every once in a while is good. You know, that can also enrich your experience. You can't have all the goods without the bads. You can't have your highs without your lows. They sort of come hand in hand, but you can sort of manage it so that you're not consistently hitting lows, and you know, eventually you hit so many lows that you go to rock bottom, and that's how you get your druggies, your homeless people, your degenerates out there doing the most in life, where you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude. How do you live like this? I had a friend who was a pretty high frequency individual, I would say. He had really good prospects, but unfortunately he was unable to cultivate his environmental garden, and so he was put in a pretty bad situation. He ended up dying recently, and he called it. I mean, he was one of those high frequency individuals where those kind of people can essentially see their future to a certain extent. They know themselves to such a degree they're able to say, you know, I'm going to be in this place at this point in time. And he called it, or I call it in certain ways. I manifest like goodness for me. He basically knew that he was going to manifest something terrible for himself, and recently it came to pass. So he was a good flower himself, but he just put himself in a terrible garden, and it ended up, you know, killing him. You can be, you know, the best kind of flower, but if you don't have the right kind of soil, you're not going to be able to eventually spread your seed and become a field of beautiful flowers. You're just going to decay, and you know, you become a part of the process, and you become somebody else's soil. But you know, the goal is not to become somebody else's soil until we need to. We want to become a flower ourselves, and we want to have our own garden. And if you guys take into account all these tips that I just gave you, all this sauce, you guys will be on the right path. Learn what's good for you and apply it to yourself, and find the right environment for yourself, and you'll find some pretty nice highs. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. There will be a lot more like them, maybe in different areas, and I will be doing different things. I want to do art classes, so we'll be doing some of those. Obviously, I'm always going to continue hiking, but then I will also be doing random things. You know, I might have seminars sometime in the future, or you know, I'll be in different locations, and you guys will be able to see my trajectory, see where I go. You guys are in the trenches with me right now, but I suspect that pretty soon that will be changing. How do I know that? Well, I don't know. I guess I'm just built a little different or something. But check out my website. I have a whole bunch of new products. I'm gonna be putting out art pretty consistently. Check out my community, go there and subscribe or say hi. I'm gonna make it free, and then there's gonna be a subscription tier, so that will have even more deeper sauce, and you guys will be able to see other people who are at a similar frequency. Until then though, I love you guys. Thanks for watching and sticking all the way through. Love y'all. Bye.